properties. The first properties we'll be looking at are the commutative properties of addition and multiplication. The commutative property of addition and multiplication state that changing the order of the add-ins and factors does not change the sum or the product. So an example of the commutative property of addition, a numeric example, would be 2 plus 3 equals 3 plus 2. Algebraically, that would be A plus B equals B plus A. An example of the commutative property of multiplication would be 2 times 3 is equal to 3 times 2. Algebraically, A times B is equal to B times A. Next, we have the associative properties of addition and multiplication. The associative property of addition and multiplication state that changing the regrouping of the add-ins or factors does not change the sum or product. So a numeric example of the associative property of addition would be the quantity 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals 2 plus the quantity 3 plus 5. And the algebraic example could be the quantity A plus B plus C equals A plus the quantity B plus C. The associative property of multiplication would then be the quantity 2 times 3 times 5 is equal to 2 times the quantity 3 times 5. Algebraically, that would be the quantity AB times C is equal to A times the quantity B times C. The multiplicative property of 0. The multiplicative property of 0 states that multiplying any number by 0 is 0. So 4 times 0 is equal to 0. And algebraically, x times 0 is equal to 0. The additive identity property. The additive identity property states that the sum of any number and 0 is that number. So 4 plus 0 equals 4. X plus 0 equals x. The multiplicative identity property. The multiplicative identity property states that the product of any number and 1 is that number. So 4 times 1 is equal to 4. X times 1 is equal to x. The additive inverse property. The additive inverse property states that adding a number and its opposite is 0. So 4 plus 1/4. So 4 plus -4 equals 0. And A plus -A equals 0. The multiplicative inverse property, multiplying a number and its reciprocal is 1. So 4 times 1/4 equals 1. 7/8 times 8/7 equals 1. A times 1 over A is equal to 1. And A over B times B over A equals 1. Our final property is the distributive property. So we really already have the example of what it would look like algebraically. A times the quantity B plus C equals AB plus AC. And A times the quantity B minus C is equal to AB minus AC. And we call it the distributive property because we distribute, or we're going to multiply each term in the parentheses by the term outside. We're going to distribute the A between the other terms. So that's the example algebraically. So let's look what that looks like with a number. We could say something like 4 times 2 plus 3 equals 4 times 2 plus 4 times 3. And we could also say that 4 times x plus 3 equals 4x plus 12. And we could say 4 times x minus 3 equals 4x minus 12. And there we have the properties.